Have you ever looked around in your life and you thought, everything looks fine, but it doesn't feel like me anymore? And then you find yourself asking you these questions. How did I get here? When did my life shift and I didn't even notice? Who was that woman looking back at me in the mirror? Nothing's fallen apart, but something feels off. Like your life kept moving forward, and somehow along the way, it stopped reflecting the woman that you've been quietly becoming. You can't quite name it, but the life that used to fit, it now feels too small, or like it no longer matches the version of yourself that you're ready to step into. And here's the truth: that realization isn't failure, it's growth, the kind that arrives quietly, asking you to pause, reflect, and to begin realigning your life around who you are now. The natural rhythm of growth. We like to think about growth like it happens once. You do the work, you find yourself, you make these big changes, and then everything just clicks into place. But the realistic growth isn't one-time event. It's a rhythm, one that repeats throughout your life. You're going to evolve over and over again, and each time what once felt aligned, it might start to feel unfamiliar, not because you did something wrong, but because you're ready for a new season of expansion. It can happen, after a big transition, like you move, or you've had a loss, or a success, or a relationship shift. Or it can sneak up on you during what looks like an ordinary season when you realize that something about your life no longer lights you up the way it once did. That's why self-development and reevaluation, they're essential to who you are. They're not about fixing yourself, they're about how to stay connected to you and your growth over time. Because you're going to outgrow parts of your life many times. And every time you do, you're going to have a new opportunity, not to rebuild from scratch, but to realign from your values and your truth. And that in between space, there's a quiet middle between realizing your old life doesn't fit and you're stepping into a fully new realigned one. That middle space, it can feel foggy, like you're walking through life aware that something's shifting, but you're unsure what it means yet. You might question yourself. You might wonder if you're overthinking things, or you tell yourself just to be grateful. And yeah, gratitude, it's important, but gratitude doesn't mean that you stop growing. It simply means that you can honor what's been while opening your heart to what's next. That tension between comfort and curiosity, it's sacred. It's where the first positivity keys awaken: thought and intention. Thought helps you become aware of what's really happening within you, what feels alive, what feels forced, and what feels overdue for change. And the intention helps you choose on purpose again. It's that moment that you say, I may not have all the answers, but I am ready to take one step forward, what feels totally true to me. And here's a personal reflection. I've been here more than once, and every time it began the same way. A quiet realization that life that I was living no longer reflected the woman that I had become. There wasn't a dramatic breaking point. Sometimes there was, but just honest goodness awareness that I couldn't unsee. And that moment that I stopped judging, that felt like I was starting to listen to who I was, and everything began to shift. I didn't rush to change everything. I just started asking better questions. What feels aligned for me right now? What needs space to evolve? And what do I want to carry forward? And what can I lovingly release? And that's what self-growth really is. Not forcing change, but giving yourself permission to keep evolving. Creating alignment again, when you start to honor those questions, something subtle but powerful happens. Your choices, they start to shift, and you say yes to what feels light, and you say no to quietly what drains you. You begin to create space for peace, purpose, and possibilities. And with time, your life, it begins to feel like it fits again. Not because you've gone back to your old self, but because you've realigned with the woman that you are becoming now. This process doesn't happen just once. It's a cycle, a rhythm of growth, awareness, and renewal that continues throughout your whole life. And each time that you move through it, you're going to become a little bit more honest with yourself, a little bit more grounded, and a lot more aligned with your values, your who you are inside. And if you're in that space right now where life looks fine, but it feels a little bit off, take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're just growing again. And growing and growth, it doesn't always start with a plan. Sometimes it starts with questions and the courage to listen to what your heart says back. If this message is resonating, stay connected over the next few weeks because I'm going to be sharing a reflective quiz that's going to help you identify where you are in growth season and what your next natural steps might be. It's gentle, it's personal to me, and it's meant to bring you clarity about what's shifting for you and how to realign with peace and purpose, because your growth isn't a one-time transformation. It's a lifelong relationship with yourself, one that keeps calling you to live your truth, alignment, and joy. With warmth and belief, until next time, share this with those that you love.